Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you had a great weekend, and thank you for joining us once again for our daily English news edition. The snow has stopped, but icy roads continue to be a problem throughout parts of Albania. In Dibër, the temperatures in the last few hours have fallen to negative 15 degrees Celsius. Lura, Doda Castle, and a few other areas are now cut off and isolated by snow that reaches up to 80 centimeters thick. The people of Dibër are complaining that the municipality is not taking any action to clear the ice from the roads. Meanwhile, the national roads are passable, but the authorities are recommending the use of tire chains in the Kukës area. It's also reported that some parts of Kukës have no power. The roads in Leja and the Kalimash tunnel area are fairly clear, and vehicles are passing through without using tire chains. Snowplows are working throughout the country, and salt is being spread wherever possible. In the Shkodër area, vehicles are using tire chains on all national and secondary roads. The same is true in parts of Korça, and the coldest weather is yet to come according to the forecast. Tuesday is supposed to be the coldest day this week, with temperatures dropping to negative 4 degrees in Tirana and negative 15 degrees in the mountainous areas. The temperatures are expected to rise again by Wednesday or Thursday. The new parliamentary season has begun, and the first meeting of the Conference of Chairmen was held today to discuss the agenda for the next 3 weeks. The parties were not able to reach an agreement on the agenda, and the Democrats' request for a resolution on the issue of medals was not included. The Democrats had asked for a resolution of an issue that was brought up in Parliament some weeks ago, when medals were awarded to prosecutors from the communist period. Their request to resolve that issue in this current agenda was denied, with the claim that it was not submitted properly. The head of the Democratic Parliamentary Group, Edi Paloka, announced after the meeting that his party would submit the request a second time. He said, "This resolution should have been voted on in the last plenary session. Their pretext is that we should have submitted it sooner. We will present it today to the Assembly, and we are waiting to vote on it." Among other things, this new parliamentary season will bring a busy agenda for the ad hoc commissions. In addition to existing justice reform and decriminalization commissions, the Parliament has approved the establishment of an ad hoc commission for electoral reform. Mr. Paloka announced that the opposition has already chosen their members for this new commission. "Our selections for the electoral commissions are ready," he said. "We have chosen Oerd Buluk-Bashi as the co-chairman, and Arben Ristani, Gent Strazimiri, and Edward Halimi will be our members. There will also be a member from the Republican Party," said Paloka. The majority is expected to announce their own selections before long so that work can begin on changing the electoral code. The Democratic chairman Lulzim Basha said today that the fact that his party took the same stance as the SMI on the justice reform should not be read as a possible alliance between the parties. Mr. Basha praised the position of the SMI on the reform, but he did not soften his attitude toward Rama and Meta coalition, which he still considers to be a powerful opponent that must be removed. He made the following comments today. "We have chosen consensus on the Venice platform. Today, our experts and commission members submitted our opinion to the Parliament. It will be sent to the Venice Commission along with the final draft. We praise all the political forces that support inclusiveness and consensus that is based on the Venice opinion. It would have been absurd not to do so. The fact that the SMI rejected the unilateral draft and asked for consensus and the involvement of the opposition, just like we did, does not mean that there is closeness between the SMI and the Democratic Party. We respect the stance of the Socialist Movement for Integration, and we hope the Socialist Party takes the same stance, as this is the only way for the reform. We must embrace consensus, just like we did with the decriminalization," said Basha. He went on to say that the Democratic Party will continue to be against the government and that it is finalizing its program for the next elections. According to him, the program will bring economic development, employment, fiscal ease, and will be discussed with all stakeholders and citizens. The Minister of Justice held a meeting today with the students of Elbasan University and spoke about the justice reform. According to him, the reform needs a process of consultation and political debates in order to achieve a good final product. Mariani told the students that the frequent constitutional changes are to blame for the current condition of the state and the judiciary. He reminded them that the Constitution has been changed 4 times, over the last 18 years, and that a fifth change is coming. Minister Magnani was asked whether he believes there should be a referendum for the justice reform. He replied, "Referendum is not a threatening means, but a public and political means that would serve to certify the product. But before we go there, the important thing is to have a process of consultation and fruitful political debates, because a very good product could emerge from this method. The justice reform does not end with the constitutional changes. It starts with them. Some constitutional changes are necessary, and in order to achieve the best results, political and public debates are needed. Our request and our standard of doing politics is consensus. This is not a standard invented by the socialist movement for integration, but the standard of a democratic society. State reforms need real consensus. The Venice Commission reports are very clear. We can build a fruitful political dialogue based upon these principles," said the Minister of Justice. The Democratic Party has turned its attention back to the accusations against the Minister of Health. The Democratic MP Albana Vokshi says that a report was submitted to the prosecution several days ago by the State Supreme Audit. According to her, the report contains the scandals and abuses of the health minister, proving the accusations of the Democratic Party. She said, "It turns out that 10 of the biggest pharmacies were intentionally excluded from the audits. They chose to audit small ones that do not have such problems. Also, several pharmacies near the hospital with a reimbursement value of 18 billion lek were never audited, making it impossible to detect their activities. All of this was done by the order of Ilir Becai." The Democratic Party calls the prosecution to fully investigate the case and bring those responsible to justice, said Vokshi. The Ministry of Health has since reacted to her accusations, saying that the fraud was discovered by the audits of the Health Fund and that 11 pharmaceutical warehouses, 8 pharmacies, and a doctor have been charged in the case. The ministry calls the accusations slanderous and reminds the Democratic Party of the catastrophic condition in which the government found the health system back in 2013. A drop in the price of minerals in the international markets has put Albania's mineral industry in a difficult situation. Industry reps have called the government to take measures to keep the industry afloat. They have asked for a reduction of several taxes, which according to them is the only thing that can save them from bankruptcy. Today, the Minister of Energy, Damjan Gjiknuri, called some of the industry leaders together to discuss the difficult situation they are facing. He spoke about the drop in mineral exports caused by a decrease of demand in China, explaining that China's economic downturn has affected Albania as well. He assured them that the mineral industry is very important for the country, and he promised that more concrete measures will be taken to improve the situation in February. Data from the budget of 2015 also indicates that the mineral sector is performing poorly. The mineral rent tax is a primary contributor to the state revenue, and it dropped by 7%, causing a shortage of 15 billion lek in the budget. That's the end of our edition for this evening. Thanks again for watching, and please join us again at 6 p.m. tomorrow for more news in English. Thanks, and have a good night.